What's up, everybody? This is your boy Kendrick talking, and welcome to this Tracer Heroes of the Storm introduction video. Now in this video I'm going to show you the most important things you have to know before getting started with Tracer in the Nexus in Heroes of the Storm, because she is a very tricky, a very flashy looking hero, so you may actually want to take a couple of steps before diving right into the action. Now Tracer, as you can see, is a very mobile hero. I'm actually going to go over her basic abilities in a bit, but what I really recommend doing first, guys, before you give Tracer a shot is actually opening up your hotkey options. There we go, the hotkey settings. Then I would recommend you going to the quick cast setting over there. Then it will automatically have Tracer selected because that's the hero you're currently playing with. And then I would actually use the quick cast settings. Now, I'm not sure what your other options or settings in regards of quick casts are, but specifically for Tracer, I would actually try to think about, or make you think about, using quick cast, because especially her Q ability called Blink and her heroic ability called Pulse Bomb will actually go a lot smoother, or go off a lot smoother, if you activate the quick cast settings. So you just tap the on section here. Basically, it's probably on release or off, depending what your other settings in general are. So put that on, put the Pulse Bomb on. The other ones aren't really available anyway because they're instant abilities, right? So there you go. Then you hit that accept button and you go back. And what happened now is you basically are able to use your Q instantly depending on where your mouse cursor is. So we're just going to take a look at what that feels like. So there we go. Q ability called Blink, by the way, causes Tracer to dash towards a certain area. Now, depending where your mouse cursor is, she's going to teleport over there. So let's just say you want to go here, boop, and you want to go boop, boop. And you can do that in quick succession. Tracer is all about using her abilities very quickly. She basically lacks a lot of tankiness or a high HP pool, and makes up for it with the ability to sort of dodge abilities and you know, outplay and outsmart your opponents. So once again, each blink charge takes 6 seconds to refill. So you may actually want to sort of get a good overview of how many charges you currently have available, so that you will not miscalculate your next move. So for example, let's just say that you know, you really want to get back to base, or you really want to escape an enemy engager. So you just do this, tuck, 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 and you can cover a large distance with that dash here, with a blink. Really good. Now, another skill that I talked about was the Pulse Bomb, and the way that the Pulse Bomb works is you basically have to use your basic attacks in order to charge it up. So that's pretty much like in Overwatch, you know. The cool thing about Pulse Bomb is that Tracer has her heroic ability available at level 1 already, so potentially you could actually use her heroic while in the very low levels, you know. That's really good. The drawback is it's your only heroic ability, so Tracer does not have an alternate choice. She has to stick with a Pulse Bomb no matter what. Something else we should mention is Tracer's reload ability, which is her trait. Basically, Tracer has ammo instead of mana or any other resource, which is extremely cool, and very excited to show it to you guys. So basically, whenever Tracer auto attacks, she will drain the ammo, and you can manually reload, or Tracer will automatically reload once her clip is empty. So we're now going to activate the minions. There we go. And let's actually give that one a shot. And the cool thing about Tracer is she can shoot while moving. That is pretty much unique in the Heroes of the Storm universe. So as you can see, we're firing automatically. I don't hit anything else. Tracer automatically shoots the nearest enemy, and she automatically also reloads her clip. So that is extremely cool. Let's just say, you know, I move away in the middle of the fight, and I could just manually reload afterwards. Very useful. I think timing your reloads becomes quite crucial, especially if you combine it with one of the later talents that we're going to show you in a minute. So as I said, the reload ability, very useful. Now, in order to charge our Pulse Bomb up to the maximum, we're just going to keep on auto-attacking, and then I'm going to show you what Tracer's heroic ability looks like. There we go, up to 90, up to 100, and there we go. It is ready now. So basically, this one is also a very short-range skill shot, and we're going to try to hit the others. Let's use this, and there we go. It automatically locks on a target and causes it to take quite a bit of damage after detonating. I think the detonation time is 1.5 seconds. There we go. Yeah, that's actually quite useful, and it is really, you know, Tracer is really a hit or miss character. Either you know how to use her abilities and you know how to aim them, or you're most likely not going to perform too well on the battlefield. So her skill cap is actually quite large compared to other ranged assassins like Raynor, for example, who basically just has larger range and is or can be played a lot more safely than Tracer. Now let's talk about her W called Melee, and as you can see, the range is indeed very limited. Now what this does, it'll actually attack the nearest enemy, but it'll also prioritize enemy heroes. So for example, I want to hit this Arthas in melee range, you know, boom, there we go. Takes a nice fist to the face there, poor Arthas. So this way, you won't actually have minions absorbing the damage, and you don't really have to worry about your positioning too much here. Now, boom, another punch to the face. Now we're gonna use our ulti. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Nice auric ability damage. And once again, we have another charge, and we can easily chase down the enemy Arthas. And let's actually use our E ability here called Recall. And what it does is it actually teleports Tracer to the location where she used to be standing 3 seconds ago. So that is extremely useful, just in case, you know, you get rooted or you get slowed by an enemy and you don't really want to suffer from that crowd control effect. You just use Recall and all of a sudden, poof, no more roots, no more slows. Now keep in mind, however, that you cannot use Recall while being silenced, for example, or while being stunned. Now, a lot of you might be interested in learning more about her talents, and we're not going to cover every single individual talent here. I mean, it wouldn't really make sense anyway, because there's no go-to talent build out there just yet, because the hero hasn't been literally released for everybody. Now let's talk about her level 1 talents. She has Pulse Strike, Slipstream, and Tracer rounds. Now basically you have a reveal here at level 1. Whenever you attack a hero, this hero will be revealed for 4 seconds. And this is quite tricky because it allows Tracer to chase enemies even into vision obscured terrain, like bushes, for example, right? You attack someone, that enemy is trying to get away by getting into a bush in order to prevent vision on you, but hey, thanks to Tracer rounds, that's not going to happen. I think the other ones are pretty much self-explanatory. Now, at level 4, we have Parting Gift, Is That a Health Pack, and Untouchable. Basically, as we mentioned earlier, Tracer is very weak in terms of HP and max HP values. So increasing the healing done from Regeneration Globes and the Healing Fountain is actually quite useful in order to keep her sustained on the battlefield. Also, Parting Gift sounds very tempting. It actually leaves a couple of bombs on the battlefield that will damage the enemies. And I think Untouchable is pretty much like a gathering power for basic attack related heroes. So this is also very risky, of course. It has a lot of value, but it can lose all its value once you die. So this is a very chancy, a very unreliable talent. Now we're going to use Parting Gift real quick in order to show you what the bombs look like. And there we go. These bombs will actually damage nearby enemy heroes. So that's really cool. At level 7, we have 3 talents available that will enhance Tracer's blink ability, and that is of course very cool to give her even more mobility, as if Tracer really needed that, right? So Spatial Echo actually grants Tracer 2 charges of blink whenever she uses the recall. Now Bullet Time, on the other hand, grants basic attacks the ability to actually reduce the cooldown of her blink. So the more you attack, the more you can blink. Sounds pretty good. And Jumper actually increases the blink charges by 1 forever. So I think this one is very reliable. This one causes you or requires you to actually stay in battle a lot, which is not always a given thing. So I think overall the most useful and the most reliable is Jumper. At level 10, you can improve your Pulse Bomb. So you can go for Sticky Bomb, which will actually increase the radius and also grant you a 60% movement slow, which is quite powerful in my opinion. That's actually quite significant. With Quantum Spike, you actually gain an additional 10% of the target's maximum health value. Now, this actually doesn't really make it very efficient against squishy ranged targets in the backline, but it makes it very strong against all those beefy warriors in the front line, because their health actually scales quite high. So the more health you have, the more damage you take. Now, Pulse Rounds, on the other hand, increases or lowers the cooldown whenever you attack with your basic attack. So the more you attack, once again, the lower the cooldown on your Pulse Bomb as well. So I've tested them all, and I think that Sticky Bomb is quite amazing because the slow is really significant. We're actually going to take a look at what it feels like. Alright, so the Pulse Bomb is ready to go. Now let's see how much that slow really affects the enemy Arthas. There you go, it's on him. And that slow is massive, absolutely beautiful. I really like the additional amount of crowd control that they bring to Tracer's table when she goes for it. Alright guys, at level 13 we have Bullet Spray, Ricochet, or Leeching Rounds. Leeching Rounds basically gives you a lifesteal to all your basic attacks, and since Tracer attacks rather quickly, this can actually be quite useful. Ricochet, on the other hand, causes her attacks to bounce to a nearby enemy, and melee hits all enemies in range, so it's basically like a short AoE punch to the face. I really found leeching rounds to be quite interesting because they heal you for 20% of the damage dealt, so we're just gonna go with that one. And here, ladies and gentlemen, comes my personal highlight: locked and loaded. This will basically cause you to manually press your D or whatever button you're using for your traits again, and if you time it wisely, or if you time it correctly, the next round or the next clip that Tracer uses will deal a 35% increased damage. So let's actually take a look at what it feels like. We're gonna go for locked and loaded.
Picking up the pace.
Now we're gonna manually reload and keep an eye on the middle of the screen. And if we manage to successfully click our trait button again in the lower half of the reload bar, we're gonna get the damage bonus for the next clip. So let's see. Okay, I missed, so my attacks will now deal normal damage, or would deal normal damage. Let's actually shoot something in order to demonstrate it to you. As you can see, my shots are dealing just normal damage, nothing out of the ordinary. Now let's actually reload again and click our trait button in time. There we go. You can actually see that Tracer's guns are now charged up and will deal significantly more damage than before. So this really puts experienced players to the test, you know, always constantly clicking the reload button again in time in order to guarantee a constant 35% damage boost. I think this will really set apart good Tracer players from very good Tracer players. Okay, we screwed up. Okay, we did it. And again, and as you can see, if you really manage to keep that stack going, or to keep that bonus damage going, you're going to be in a really good spot. At level 20, we can once again boost our Pulse Bomb if you so desire. And Composition B will actually cast another instance of Pulse Bomb if you manage to successfully land it on an enemy hero. This is extremely strong because it will also take the bonus effect that you chose at level 10. So in our case with Sticky Bomb, it actually causes the second bomb to slow as well, and it will also increase the radius of the second bomb by 50%. So this is really, really strong. Now, Total Recall, what that one actually causes you to do is you will also not only remove counter control effects or bring you back to a former location, but it'll also give you the original health value. So this is an extremely powerful self-heal on Tracer, which gives her an additional ounce of self-sustain. Really, really good. And Get Stuffed will basically cause melee's cooldown to be reduced by 3 seconds. Also really not that bad. Hitting an enemy with melee who's stuck with a pulse bomb causes the bomb to instantly explode. I'm not really sure if that effect and a short knockback is actually worth picking up. So at first glance, Get Stuffed actually seems to be the weakest Storm talent at level 20, but time will tell, you know. Alright guys, so that's it for now. Of course, I'm going to be testing Tracer a lot more over the next couple of days and weeks, and I'm really excited to show you an in-game gameplay once the hero has been fully developed, and of course we know what builds are really good and what builds are kind of wonky. I hope this video actually helped to answer some of the questions that you had in regards of Tracer. If there's still something that is unclear, please do not hesitate to actually drop a comment down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the video, then please also don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even leave a subscription. I would be very happy. I'm sure Tracer would be very happy as well. So stay tuned for now, guys, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.
The name's Tracer, and the Nexus could always use more heroes.